we're enabling farmers, even when they don't have service, to still be interacting with their fields.
Welcome to Around the Farm, the podcast about all things ag. I'm your host, Tom Versman, and with me again is Andrew Folta and Wyatt Jones. Maybe just some quick intros for you guys again for the second part of our two-part episode series.
Yeah. Again, appreciate the time, Tom. Appreciate the opportunity to be here. I'm Wyatt Jones. I'm the FieldView brand manager for the U.S. So have the opportunity to work with folks like Andy on the product side, get to work with folks like you on the brand side, and also support our customers and make sure that FieldView is showing up and meeting them where they are and really taking them where they want to take their operation.
I appreciate you joining us again, Wyatt.
Yeah. Andy Folta. I'm the U.S. product marketing manager for FieldView. Long-time listener, second-time joiner.
Second time, that's right.
And yeah, my whole role is around understanding customer needs and how we bring products out to the market and communicate their value and their usage to our customers. And last time we talked all things, our new tiers, our new commercial policy, and how we collect data. And I think this time we're going to go in about how we can take that data, turn it into insights and actions for our customers with some of the new things we're building out in 2024.
That's right. No, Andy, appreciate you joining too. And for all our listeners out there, if you didn't get a chance to listen to part one, be sure to click that wherever you've subscribed to podcasts and catch part one that'll feed into this part two that we're going to dive into. All right, guys. So let's pick up where we left off here on part one and jump into part two. So really first, there's been a lot of things going on with field region reports, and region reports have been around for a long time. But Wyatt, could you shed some light on some of the enhancements we have coming and what excites you the most in these new features that we're launching with field region reports?
For sure, Tom. So Andy talked last time, but we're doing a lot with data collection. So whether you're using a Drive 1 today or some of the expanded opportunities to collect your data, or you're going to use Drive 2.0 later this year, our farmers have been collecting a lot of data. They're streaming data in cab, but then it's kind of the so what or what's that next step. Field region reports is one of the most, if not most popular feature in FieldView. And really what that has enabled a customer to do in the past is to, if you're not familiar with it, click on that little circle on your screen in FieldView.
Yep, that's right.
Either draw a circle or draw a polygon or a square, and you can see your hybrids that are planted, the population that they're planted at, the soil types, and really turn every spot on your farm into a trial. So that's been a very utilized feature. But one thing that farmers kept asking for was, hey, what if I spray a fungicide here? Or what if I do some other type of application? And so what we launched last fall was field region reports by application. And so that enabled our farmers to be able to go in, draw that region report that included that application data, be it, a nitrogen pass, be it a fungicide, so that they can start to see by yield what that application is doing by product. And so what we're also going to be launching later this spring here in April will be field region reports by application rate.
Love that.
So it's going to capstone field region reports. That's going to be the final piece to the puzzle, but that really is going to tell the whole story for that farmer or that customer all year long of, okay, now I know what products I planted, on what soil types, at what population, what I sprayed or where I didn't spray, or what I applied versus where I didn't apply, and then at what rate. So we can really start to get fine-tuning on our operations to understand what's my ROI, what makes me the most money, and really what should I be applying and what should I not be applying.
No, that's great. And I know application for sure has been something that's been talked about for a while and a big request. Folta, you and I have talked a little bit about this. I'm going to put you on the spot again.
All right.
Because we didn't quite get to the answer before we got separated here. But tell me, on region reports, this has been something I'd been asked when I was a part of the climate team. Can you print region reports? I know some reports you can print,
right?
But maybe dive in a little bit on getting some of that data in a physical form.
Yeah, and we know that customers want to be able to connect, consult, and collaborate with their trusted advisors, whether it's a retailer or a seed pro. The majority of our customers are taking their data and sharing it to someone because they want that consultative, collaborative approach around their data. That's one of the beautiful things about field region reports is you go in and you draw that circle and you can see the report. Trusted advisor can also do that for a customer in their account if they're sharing. They can save that, they can name it, and then I can also send and push that information over to you via text message to say, hey, I found this type of an insight. You should go in and take a look at what I saw. The ability to actually print PDFs, that's something we're still developing. I look at our reports, the new report tab that we have. All of those things you can export in a PDF form. You can export in a CSV if you want to take it to Excel, because we know a lot of people are still using that platform. But being able to take data, out of the environment that's digitally enabled and bring it into a hard copy for a leave behind is something that we're building out in the FieldView platform on both the customer and the dealer side.
No, that's great. And I think you mentioned something there that's definitely worth noting is the saved region reports, right? That's again very powerful if you share with your trusted advisor to ensure that you have those region reports in your account. And hey, you don't necessarily need to have that printed out. You could share the account, send a text, good to go.
Yep.
Hey, I think this is also a good segue into reports. We talked a little bit about briefly as we're talking about region reports, but you mentioned the PDF export of reports. Where are reports in general going? Maybe that's a loaded question.
We've got a place for them.
Got a place for them.
Oh, yeah.
All in one place.
Yes. So you go into your Black and Gold app, right? Our flagship FieldView app. On that bottom row, we've historically had fields. We've had, prescriptions, all those different tabs you can click on. We added a new one at the end of 2023, and that was the Reports tab. So now I can go in there and click, and that's where I can find my yield analysis report. I can find some in-season reports, some planning and application reports where I can go in and have a query to say, show me all of the fields in my operation or my shared operations that had a specific hybrid or variety or crop protection product, and it'll show me that result. I can also show, a trend. We have season over season analysis and reports where I can see the trend line of what my operation is doing. Am I trending up? Am I trending down? I can go in and I can cut the data in any different way that I want. So we're giving our customers full latitude to view these different reports. We have some additional ones that we want to build out in that experience.
Great.
But again, allowing our trusted advisors access to that if the grower shares so they can see it across all their customers, but also the ability to export, print, and share, whether it's a PDF, CSV, or even a text message.
No, I think that's good. And, one of the things on that, Andy, and Wyatt too, maybe chime in, I think an opportunity with FieldView is how do we make sure we're guiding customers to use the tool every month out of the year or even every day, maybe 365 days a year. And I think with reports and what you're talking about, sounds like there's at least a unique opportunity there to dive into the data in the spring, the summer, the fall, and the winter. Maybe shed some light on what your thoughts are there or how you would maybe approach that from your previous roles.
And because of the drive, we've been really good at getting customers into the platform, 30 to 60 days a year, especially during planting, application, and harvest season, whenever they're in the cab. But we're building out more capabilities like our in-season reports or our retroactive reports where you can go in and look at what happened to get customers in the platform more regularly because we want FieldView to be that daily essential tool for farmer decision-making. So we're building out capabilities that'll allow that. I'd also look at additional things in reports that I didn't mention. One of the things would be seed treatment reports. So we know that, it's been hard for customers to go in and, delineate, did a seed treatment really bring back ROI? Did it outperform another? In our yield analysis reports, now you can go in and there's a drop down to see, I want to see performance by seed treatment type. So that when I'm in the cab app and I'm building out my hybrids or varieties and I'm adding my seed treatment tag, we'll track all that data there as well. So we're building out more things in the platform that get our customers coming back more regularly.
Oh, that's great. And, just to segue a bit too, Wyatt, I'm gonna come to you for this one, but you think of Latin America and there are a lot of areas that don't necessarily have cell phone coverage, but
for sure,
even in the US, there are still a lot of areas that don't have cell phone coverage. I mean, just driving up to Iowa the other day on 61 and you lose service for 5 or 6 miles, right?
Absolutely.
How, with offline maps, are we going to enhance that feature and the usability of the product?
Yeah, so you talk about or you think about a farmer or a customer, how can they utilize FieldView every day on the farm or create that 365 utilization? Part of that is scouting in season. So I know that we've gotten through planting season. We use a lot of our reports functionalities, scripting to kind of build out what the plan is. We hop in the planner, we collect data with our drive, we collect data with one of our other capabilities, and then we scout that all season long. And so if you're familiar with scouting, you can go in, hold on the screen, or drop a pin, and that's really a nice way to keep a point of reference in a field. One of the things that we haven't been able to do in the past is if you don't have cell service, you're not able to visualize that map when you're in the field. So what Offline Maps enables and empowers our customers to do is before you leave the farm or before you leave the office, you can go in, quickly hit the cloud button, and it'll download that field to your local device, so that when you get out to the bottoms, or so that when you get out to that part of the farm where you know you're going to lose service, or where you always drop those phone calls, now you're still able to go out and scout those fields. So maybe if you're just looking for an escape to get out so someone can't reach you, but you still want to scout some fields, drop some pins, you can download those offline maps, go out, look at some corn, look at some beans, or whatever crop is on your farm, and still keep those notes.
You heard it here, I guess, from Wyatt. If you're trying to get off the grid for 30 minutes,
if you
you
have
can
3
use
kids and
FieldView.
you're looking for some quiet and peace.
That's right. That's right. Yes. The kid thing, I could get on board with that. Yeah. Getting a little away time and having offline maps in my back pocket. So with like Google Maps, you can download a certain radius and have Google Maps offline. Is it very similar to that respect, Wyatt, as you're saying? You just download the map more or less to your phone or to your iPad.
For sure.
And then from there, you have access to that
For sure.
specific field.
So when you log into FieldView, whether it's on your mobile device of your phone or your iPad, you'll see there's the vegetative map or there's the scouting map. You'll have to download each one of those individually, but you probably notice a little icon. So there's a little icon that looks pretty intuitive to say, hey, click here to download.
Yep.
Once you've downloaded, it changes to a cloud. So that means that that's on the cloud, and then you're able to access those later on. But, if you're sitting in the office with Wi-Fi connected, you'll just be able to see the difference between if you have clicked or if you haven't clicked. Once you get out to the field and actually select those fields once you're offline, you'll be able to see the difference between, okay, these are the fields that I have downloaded, and then the ones that I didn't download are not showing.
Got it. That makes sense. No, I think that's fantastic, especially, like you said, in those areas where you don't have that coverage. So
Exactly.
being able to dive into the data and really look at those specific fields is huge. So I know we're talking about a lot here, and maybe let's just segue before we keep going. But I do want to give a shout out to Brandon Rankenberger. The reason we are all matching today is he was kind enough to, whether he knows it or not, he was kind enough to provide us with great FieldView gear. So really, really appreciate that, Brandon. So thanks for being on the podcast without physically being here. We're glad you could be a part of things.
He's always thinking of us.
He's always thinking of us.
It's very fitting for wrapping up March Madness. These are like our travel gear,
I like that. That's good.
So,
our away jerseys.
our away jerseys. So travel gear today.
That's good. Wyatt, why don't you just recap what we've talked about so far, and then maybe, we can jump into grain futures, Folta.
Yeah, for sure. So a lot going on with FieldView. We kicked it off with reports, field region reports, and how a farmer can use that all season long. Folta started to talk through the different report layers that we have, whether it's planting, application, seed treatments. Then we wrapped it up here with offline mapping and how we're enabling farmers, even when they don't have service, to still be interacting with their fields.
That's fantastic. And hey, I noticed, I thought about you the other day. I opened my FieldView app. I did.
Oh.
I opened my FieldView app.
Yeah.
And for the first time in a while, there is an additional card. I'll preface the black and gold app. There's an additional card on the home screen that says grain futures.
Yeah.
So maybe you can keep me honest there and shed some light on that.
Yeah.
And I'd be interested to learn a little more on where that's going or what you think is going to come out of this here in the next few months, as that tool is relatively new.
And I think about, the conversation we've been having in this episode and also last episode. We talked about how we collect data and then how we build it out into a report. But really, for farm operations, the end goal is to make money, right? And so we're trying to build out that end-to-end experience where we can collect planting data, application data, harvest data, and then match it up with the decision to sell grain at the end of the season. So we built out a grain futures widget in the black and gold app where you can go in and you can see future prices for corn, soy, canola, and wheat. And you can go in and adjust which one you want to see at the top, which one you want to see at the bottom. But we know that our customers are looking at places like bar charts, which is where we're pulling the data into the FieldView ecosystem. And we've talked about being that daily and essential tool. 2 things farmers do every day. They check the weather, which Climate has been very good at for years. And they call the local elevator to see what the price of grain is.
That's right.
And now we're building that out in the FieldView ecosystem. And you asked where we're going in the future. Over the rest of 2024, we have plans to develop local cash prices. So you can go in and enter your zip code, and then you can see what is, the local elevator bidding today.
Like a gas buddy.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
There you go. Gas buddy for the field.
No free ads, but yes.
No free ads. Love that.
Like a gas buddy, yes.
Do you foresee the grain futures tool playing more of a role in data being collected? And potentially, how could that be even long term?
Yeah.
Could that be something we see in the cab app?
Yeah. I could see that, being added as an additional capability. And when I think about, the reason for data collection, it's to have that end-to-end experience around the decision making. And that ultimate decision is how am I going to make money, how I'm going to sell this grain. I do think there are additional things that we're building out in the cab app that are going to match up really nicely. I look at like fuel use maps.
Yep.
We're talking all about, money that's coming in and out of an operation. We're building out that capability so that you can see where am I using fuel, and then we do have the opportunity to match those things up in the future with how I'm selling my grain and making money back into the operation.
No, I love that. I think that's good, and I think again, having all the data at the end of the day in one place to tell the story at what's going on farm is crucial to the success.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's been one of our key value pillars is getting all your data into one place, but then also pairing that up with, industry leading connections. And we have almost 70 API partners that we can connect to in FieldView today. And, I look at this Grain Futures edition as being kind of the first step in how do we start to reference some of those experiences in the FieldView platform.
Very cool.
Yep.
Well, hey guys, there's been a ton of excitement going on with climate, and I mean, we broke this up into two parts. A lot of really exciting things. Again, from a huge supporter of FieldView and someone that's really passionate about FieldView, I'm just really excited personally to hear and see all these new tools coming down the pipeline. Andy, you shared a story here before we got started recording, and maybe you could shed some light on that. Maybe even some excitement so much in the testing of Drive 2.0 that a farmer didn't maybe want to give that beta drive back. So maybe share that story.
Yeah, it's causing drama and excitement out there. I'd add drama as
drama, good drama though.
Yeah. So we had a beta test last year where we had about 150 Drive 2s out in the marketplace, testing for stability. Everything went great, and that's why we're going to launch it here in 2024. But one of the testers was actually the father of one of our CEMs, Matt Zimmerman, who's a good friend who's his family farms out in West Central Illinois, and his dad was using Drive 2. And because, the Drive 2 was a beta test, we had to collect the Drive 2s and bring them back. His dad didn't want to give it back, so he started ducking Matt's calls, and it caused some internal family drama because Matt couldn't get hold of his dad because he didn't want to give the Drive 2 back.
That's right. But the data quality was terrific, and the experience was so good. That's why he didn't want to give it back.
Yeah, the in-cab stability was so good. The data offload speed was so quick, and that ability to transfer scripts seamlessly, was it?
Well, hopefully it doesn't affect anything around the holidays, and they'll be able to get together.
Yeah, we'll hope. We'll hope everything's quiet at Zimmerman Farms.
Well, hey, guys, I think this has been a great conversation and really enjoyed having both of you out here today. Before we wrap, is there anything else to add? Because like I said, we did make this a two-part series, but is there anything we didn't touch on that we should touch on?
I would just add, if you're gearing up for planting season or gearing up for growing season, be sure to reference our support.climate.com. That's where you can find all of our resources about anything FieldView. There's a really useful search tool that you can type in your question, whether it's compatibility or something specifically about a feature. Probably pulls up a YouTube video that makes it really easy to solve your problem. But also feel free to call into our St. Louis help desk. Those folks are constantly working there and are really eager to help you. But I know we name dropped a CEM or two here on the call, but get to know your local climate enablement manager. If you don't know those folks, reach out to whoever your local dealer is and have a conversation. But just want to make sure you're maximizing all the new functionalities and features that we have at FieldView.
That's right.
Yeah, I'd reiterate that. I mean, the CEMs, they're super passionate about helping customers collect data and, discover insights and take action on that data. And, if you're not connecting with them, you definitely should. But I'd also say we're building out more things in the product, every month. So maybe there's a part 3 in the future. I don't know.
Love that. Would love to have a part 3. And exciting stuff is always coming from FieldView. So, and one last thing to add to it, there's a lot of big equipment moving around, and I know that's kind of the business we want to partner with too in collecting data. But just be safe out there and make sure you're taking a little extra time to get to where you're going. And again, watch out for tractors and planters and sprayers, everything moving around right now. Just take that extra minute and be safe. So hey, all, with that, thanks again for watching. Hey, since this is part 2, Andy, let's do things a little differently here. And why don't you close us out today?
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for joining Around the Farm, a podcast about all things ag, brought to you by Climate FieldView. If this is your first time joining us, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And we look forward to seeing you next time Around the Farm.
And hey, before we wrap up today, I just wanted to let everyone know we're going to switch a little bit from 2-week releases to now 4-week releases. So just be aware of that. We won't be releasing episodes as often, but you're still going to get that great content every 4 weeks. So again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you around the farm.